Good morning, everyone. My name is Matt Widener, and I'm a cyber engineer and analyst with Red Sky Alliance. Today's threat brief contains information gathered from open source and WAPAC lab collections over the past week. For the agenda today, we are going to briefly discuss recent Emmitt malware activity. We will then cover recent data breaches and cyber attacks in open sources and social media, and then go over 7 days of trending, including the latest APT activities, botnet activity, cloud security, Blacklists, and keylogger activity. On January 22nd, 2020, the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency reported an increase in targeted Emmitt attacks. This is likely in response to the January 15, 2020 attacks against United Nations personnel reported in the media. Emails impersonating the Permanent Mission of Norway organization were sent to 600 UN workers with an attached MS Office document which delivered a TrickBot malware payload when triggered. Emmitt primarily functions as a dropper for other malware, such as the banking Trojans named Dridex and TrickBot, and also the Ryuk ransomware, making it a very serious threat. It is also very sophisticated. Payloads are encrypted, packed with a custom packer, and contain protective measures to hinder analysis of how it operates. Additionally, malware capabilities are modular. New capabilities can be added or existing ones replaced through downloads from a C2 server. Delivery is often performed through email attachments, but Emmitt also has the capability to self-propagate without user interaction. Historically, Emmitt has been limited to infecting hosts on the same LAN segment. However, last Friday, Binary Defense reported that Emmitt now has the capability to infect nearby Wi-Fi networks. To do this, an infected host scans for nearby Wi-Fi networks and attempts to connect to them using a list of easy-to-guess passwords. If successful, the malware then begins another brute force attack. This time, it attempts to log into hosts connected to the compromised Wi-Fi network using a second list of usernames and passwords. If this attack is successful, Emmitt infects the host and gains a foothold on the compromised Wi-Fi network to begin spreading further. Since historically, Emmitt's payloads have been dedicated to stealing banking information, logging credentials, personal information, and deploying ransomware, this malware represents a serious threat to the reputation and financial health of organizations worldwide. Looking at gray noise activity levels this week, we see a little over 63,000 new malicious IPs detected in the past 7 days, and Mirai activity topping the list. However, in total, the reconnaissance and exploitation of Telnet remote access services exceeds the detected Mirai activity. However, since Mirai spreads using the Telnet service, it is unclear if the reported Telnet activity represents Mirai activity or activity of another malware variant. The increase in TCP 102 port traffic could indicate an increase in SCADA attacks or Microsoft Exchange server mail transfer agent attacks. In open source news this week, 4 Chinese PLA members were indicted in U.S. federal court on January 28th with charges of computer fraud, economic espionage, wire fraud, and conspiracy. It is alleged that members of the 54th Research Institute conspired to hack into computer systems owned by Equifax to steal the personally identifiable information of 145 million American citizens. The FBI released a wanted poster this week asking anyone with information on the defendants to contact them or the nearest American embassy or consulate. An active phishing campaign has recently been discovered targeting PayPal users. The malicious email warns recipients their PayPal account has been limited because of suspicious access. It then entices them to click a button in the message body that takes the victim to an attacker-controlled website. The web form found there impersonates a legitimate PayPal site and asks for personal data so that the victim can verify their identity to reactivate their account. The site asks for information such as billing and payment card details, social security number, and even asks the victim to upload a photo of their valid government-issued photo ID, passport, driver's license, or credit card. Observant recipients may notice some clues that the email is fake, by examining the emails from address and the domain hosting the website that do not originate from paypal.com. Cisco, Adobe, and Microsoft released a number of critical patches recently. Cisco patched 5 high-severity issues affecting its line of switches, routers, and IP cameras. The group of flaws affected the Cisco Discovery Protocol and are known collectively as CD-PONE. The vulnerabilities include buffer overflows and format string vulnerabilities that could allow remote attackers to execute arbitrary code by sending specially crafted CDP packets. Adobe patched 35 critical vulnerabilities across 5 different products, including Adobe Acrobat and Acrobat Reader. At least one of the vulnerabilities contains a flaw that could allow arbitrary code execution and a full compromise of the vulnerable system. Lastly, Microsoft issued patches for 12 critical vulnerabilities, including CVE 2020-0674, which is being actively exploited in the wild. The exploit affects Internet Explorer's scripting engine, affecting versions 9, 10, and 11 of the browser. It could also be triggered through a Microsoft Office document that uses the IE rendering engine. Last week, we recorded approximately 990,000 of the indicators listed above. These collections included our threat recon, keylogger, malicious emails, and sinkhole traffic. The numbers on this slide show the indicators in the respective collections. Indicators are available to paid Red Sky Alliance members weekly, as well as our blacklists, which come in CSV, FortiSIM, and Proofpoint formats. These are the APT indicators collected in the last 2 weeks. We had 44 unique APT indicators in the past 7 days. This is down 118 indicators from last week's reporting. You can use your 2-factor authentication to log into CTAC to download the APT indicators discussed today. Please contact us on Slack or via email for any assistance. On the right, you can see our top sinkhole statistics sorted by malware. Topping the list for multiple weeks now is Sikkipot, Tabsi Tang, and Maudi have fallen off the list this week, with Parsim showing up as their replacement. Again, we see WECB and DNS Calc finishing out the list for our APT indicators over the past 7 days. Things have been shaken up a bit this week regarding botnet activity. Spam House data shows Bharti Airtel in first place, with China Telecom at number 2. Dropping 1 rank to number 4 is VNPT Corp, with National Internet Backbone at number 3. We usually see number 31 Jinrong Street, but this week they have dropped off completely. On the cloud security front, we are seeing botnet activities in the same cloud environments as usual with a slight switch up. Peak 10 remains on top, with Microsoft taking the number 2 spot and TierPoint at number 3. Amazon and Alibaba remain in the top 5, but dropping to the 4th and 5th rankings. Rackspace and GoDaddy are caution risk environments this week, with ONR listed as lower risk. In our malicious email collections this week, we observed attackers targeting Asian maritime shipping and service companies Saido Shipping Group, Emtech Marine, Yamato Singapore, and others to deliver malware. Along with the Whack-Attack Trojan and Oniva, we observed malware being delivered that exploits MS Office vulnerability CVE 2017-11882 and malware that exploits the AutoIT IT automation suite. Our blacklists are published weekly. On the right-hand side here, you can see some of our keylogger stats. Last week, we observed 30,032 sinkhole connections from new unique IP addresses, 19 unique email accounts compromised with keyloggers. Please go to redskyalliance.org to inquire for additional support, complete blacklists, Red X-ray, and API access. Thank you all for joining us today. Please visit our Red Sky Alliance portal at redskyalliance.org for additional cyber intelligence reporting. And if you have any questions regarding the topics briefed today, please get in touch with Jay McKee at wapaclabs.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you again next week.